From the very first time they met, it felt like destiny was watching. Not because they were meant to fall in love, but because they were never supposed to. And yet, years later, fans are still asking the same question: will Senku and Kohaku ever become more than just allies? Or will the stone leave one of its greatest connections forever undefined? In every great story, there are bonds that transcend time, battles, and even the end of the world. In Stone, one such bond is between Senku Ishigami and Kohaku, a relationship built on respect, trust, and shared struggles. But for years, fans have been left wondering, could it ever become something more? Or is that just a dream for the shippers among us? From the moment Kohaku first met Senku, impressed by his unshakable determination and intellect, there's been a subtle spark, not the fiery, passionate kind, but a quiet understanding. She once said she had fallen for him, only to quickly deny the romantic implication, and yet those words stayed in the minds of readers. Senku, of course, has always stood apart from the typical shōnen protagonist. While most heroes chase after glory, adventure, or love, Senku's gaze is fixed on something far greater: the revival of civilization itself. His mission isn't about personal gain or fleeting pleasures. It's about pushing the boundaries of science and ensuring humanity's survival. For him, romance isn't just a low priority, it's a distraction he can't afford. Over time, this unwavering focus has led many fans to interpret Senku as aromantic, perhaps even asexual. His interactions with women are polite but detached, never carrying the undercurrent of desire that's so common in anime protagonists. Others, however, believe it's less about his orientation and more about his priorities, that he's simply choosing the fate of the world over his own personal feelings. Then came Stone, Forward Science, the sequel micro-series that reignited the debate. For the first time, the question was posed openly. In one scene, Kohaku herself admits she'd be willing to become a couple if Senku was interested. His reply, a matter-of-fact reminder that he doesn't have time for all that. It wasn't a cold rejection, but it wasn't a declaration of love either. Instead, it was something in between, a response that gave just enough to keep both hope and doubt alive, leaving fans with more questions than answers. The truth is, the bond between Senku and Kohaku has never relied solely on romantic tension. It's been forged in the fires of shared struggle, in battles where they've stood back against overwhelming odds, in moments where trust was the only weapon they had left. They've saved each other's lives more than once, not out of obligation, but because they knew the other was essential to the mission, and perhaps, in some unspoken way, to themselves. From pretending to be lovers during the tense standoff on Treasure Island to embracing afterlife and death conflicts, their connection has been marked by gestures that are intimate without necessarily being romantic. Even the quiet, heartfelt conversations about legacy and the meaning of what they're fighting for speak to a depth of understanding that few characters in Stone share. But this raises the question, is such depth inherently romantic? Or is it something rarer, a bond that transcends the need for labels? For some fans, the idea of pushing these two into a romantic storyline feels wrong, even unnatural, as if it would betray Senku's core identity. He doesn't need love to be whole, and neither does Kohaku. Their fulfillment comes from purpose, achievement, and the shared dream of rebuilding the world. Yet to others, the possibility of Senku finding happiness in someone who not only understands his ideals, but walks alongside him in pursuit of them, is too compelling to ignore. In their eyes, it's not about changing Senku. It's about letting him discover that even a man driven by the stars can still find meaning in the person standing next to him. And maybe that's the beauty of it. The uncertainty, the quiet, what if that lingers long after the final chapter has been read, echoing in the minds of fans. Shōnen heroes like Senku, Luffy, or Natsu so often reach the end of their journeys without a canon romance, not because love is beyond their reach, but because their paths are carved in a different direction. Their destinies are tied to causes far larger than themselves, and sometimes the pursuit of those causes leaves no space for traditional love stories. In Stone, perhaps the truest love story was never between two individuals at all, but between humanity and the dream of progress. The belief that even after losing everything, we can build again, stronger than before. Senku and Kohaku's connection is a thread woven into that greater tapestry, forged in shared struggle, strengthened by trust, and defined by the unspoken knowledge that they will keep moving forward, no matter the costs. If they ever do become canon, it won't be because fans shouted loud enough or because the writers wanted to tick a box. It will happen because their journey, through science, danger, loss, and triumph, could only ever lead them to one another. And if that day never comes, the stone world will keep turning. They will keep walking the same road, and their bond will remain, something impossible to name yet impossible to forget. In the end, it's not about whether they end up together. It's about the fact they never stopped walking the same path. If you enjoyed this dive into Stone, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more anime deep talks here on Mimic San. Your support helps me keep exploring the stories we love.